Hey, what's good, y'all? It's DGE, Dolphin Gang Entertainment. It's your boy DG, and we back with another video. And today we got that boy McDaniel, man. We haven't heard from him since the end of last season. We gonna see what updates he got in regards to our team, the Miami Dolphins, and how he can make this team improve. Right now they had the NFL Combine, a lot of prospects over there. So hopefully he's looking at the right ones that this team needs. But I've been hearing some rumors that he's trying to double down on O lineman. He's trying to double down on O lineman, man. And hey, that's all I could really ask for, dog. To be honest. So please make it happen. Mike McDaniel. Please. But hey, if you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. I've been gone for a little minute. Just trying to get my shit together. I'm trying to get everything back right. I will be back. Free agency coming up. I will be back. Trust me. I can't miss out on this. I cannot. I appreciate all the ones who still support me through everything that I'm going through. You don't know what your favorite content creator or your YouTuber, whatever it is, you do not know what they're going through. So please support them through the good and the bad, man. They could really use it. They could really, really use it, man. But hey, let's get straight into this, man. Mike McDaniel.
For us at the Scouting Combine, one of our favorites.
Right.
Woo! Dolphins head coach.
Always. Well, let's just say it again.
Mike can't hide money. McDaniel.
Yep. And you're supposed to say, I'm not trying to.
Clearly not trying to. Being poor for a significant portion of your life.
That was our favorite quote of last year's Combine. Yeah, it was. Right. Yeah, it really was. But you're looking cool. What went into the whole growing the hair out and going with this style?
What makes anyone change their haircut? I've always been like a haircut change guy.
Right.
Kind of going about 2 or 3 year cycles.
Yeah.
I figure I am not the one person that can avoid aging. So I'm assuming the hair is going to be gone, and so might as well ride it while I have it.
Yeah.
That's basically the bottom line.
Okay.
It's not.
Good point. Good point. You're going to lose that hair anyway. So you might as well grow it out until you can't no more.
They have systems to ensure that you do have hair. By the way, not that I have one, but you're not. It's not. It's not.
Might have been
It
Sounds like you're knowledgeable.
It's not an inevitability. Let's say.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
probably got a hair transplant. Probably.
That's fair.
He's not going to do that, though. That's not his style.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm just saying it might not happen. It might freeze. It might freeze where
You're right.
you never know.
I'm just kind of a realist, though. I've noticed like this aging thing is real.
Yeah.
How
Have
old
guys
are you
noticed?
now? How old are
I'm
you now?
41.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Man, he look my age, bro. He do. He don't look 41. Definitely don't.
Yeah, right.
Wait.
Till you're 44.
What do you mean just wait?
Just wait till you're 59.
Like this guy, he's about to be a senior citizen here soon.
Dude,
But all right.
you were
And they're
doing
telling us to
59
talk
well.
football now.
I
We're
want to
having a
hit you up.
conversation.
I
We're
want to
having
hit
fun.
you up about just your team a little bit and just some of the crap that went on at the end of the year, especially with Tyreek Hill, right? One of the best receivers in football. I know you like him and all that. He spouted off. He's tried to apologize. Where's that all at right now?
I think ultimately, as is every relationship, if you can work at something and you go through things together, it all ultimately makes it stronger. I think his relationship with his teammates, I think that was kind of, his motivation of clarifying his actions, that if you're trying to win, you can't, do that to your teammates. But I also have a very, very strong relationship with Tyreek himself. And
So it seemed like Tyreek Hill, he manned up and apologized to the team. That's what it seemed like, man. It was very bold what Tyreek Hill did to us last year at the end, and everybody seen it. Ain't no hiding that. Ain't no hiding it. So hopefully Tyreek Hill don't come out this year. If we lose this year, Tyreek Hill, he not a Miami Dolphin no more. Guaranteed. If we do not make the playoffs this year, Tyreek Hill, he will not be a Miami Dolphin. I'm pretty sure if this team builds up the way that we want them to through free agency, the O-line, through the draft, O-line, and there's other positions that we got to fix as well. But the O-line is like the priority right there. If we fix the O-line, everything else could fall into place for this team to the point where we could be a playoff team. If it might not seem like O-line is our biggest weakness. It's probably like the second or third biggest weakness. But, if you really want to change the dynamic of a team, fix the O-line. Everybody's saying that about their quarterback. We got to protect our quarterback. Everybody's saying that now. They see how important the O-line is now. They see it. They see the Eagles beating the crap out of the Chiefs in the Super Bowl because of their O-line. Not even just the O-line, the D-line as well, the trenches in general. You got to make sure you have at least a top 5 trench team. At least top 5. Last year, I think we were like 15 or behind that. 15, 16, 17, around that range. But we need to be in the top 10. Top 10, man. So them boys have to invest in free agency, have to invest in the draft. Shout out to Teron Armstead taking that pay cut so we are able to sign more players on this team. Shout out to that boy, man. He deserves a statue right next to Dan Marino. He deserves it.
He was very candid about, you know, his disappointment in hindsight, but as well, he was motivated by trying to win. I think, as competitors with star players, there's a lot going on during the NFL season, and nobody likes losing. And we lost more than we won last year. And
Tyreek Hill, last year was the first year that he has never been in the playoffs. Last year, man. So him acting that way, it makes sense, but at the same time, you should never give up on your teammates. Never. No matter what the circumstances are, you should never give up. Let's say we went 0-17 last year. What was you going to do? What was you going to do? You're going to fight somebody in the locker room. Most definitely. You probably was going to fight the coach, Mike McDaniel. Y'all would have squared up, man.
It's not excusable. It's not part of who we are. And I think, it's easy to, when your teammates back by what I know Tyreek plans on doing in terms of his daily investment and how he competes.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. The root cause of the frustration, was it about him? Is it about the circumstances? Is it something else? And do you believe that you can get to a spot where it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I mean, I think the root cause was a culmination of frustrations that, I think, from my perspective, I'm very unrelenting with our standard and how we go about practice and what we put on tape in terms of our effort, execution, how we play, our strain. I think since I've been here, those things have been a strong point of how we've played. There's also innumerable amount of.
If you practice weak, you're going to play weak. But I feel like Mike McDaniel, you probably would see like somebody, being lackadaisical on the field, being lazy, not really doing too much, not putting extra effort. And he'll probably let it slide because he's not that put his foot down type of head coach. He seemed like that buddy type of head coach. So the players feel like they could do whatever they want with Mike McDaniel because he let a lot of shit slide. That's why I feel like it's happening behind the scenes. So that's probably what Mike McDaniel is saying. And it got to the point as to where the team seen that we were losing and the effort that they should have been putting into practice, they're not really putting it into practice, and it's reflecting on the football field on Sundays. The coach shouldn't have to tell you anything in regards to how you need to practice. You should already know how to practice. You're playing football for your family. You got bills to pay. You got mouths to feed. So that should be all the motivation that you need to work twice as hard out there. Twice as hard. So, man, Coach Mike McDaniel, this year's your last year, man. You got to make something shake. You got to make something shake. If you're not going to be an elite motivator, make sure you have the best players on your team so you don't have to worry about motivating that much. Make sure you have the right egos in there that's going to fit with your culture. If you have different egos that's not going to fit with your culture, that's going to cause a little shift in regards to how the team gets along, to be honest, man. So it's a very complex thing, making the best team possible. Very complex. So There could be a player that you love, but if they don't fit the culture, don't try to target them. Don't. Make sure that person fits the culture on and off the field. And some of the issues that you probably dealt with last year, you probably don't have to deal with them. Too bad it took us 8 and 9 for us to realize, like, man, we need to get our shit together. Coach don't have to tell us nothing. He don't have to be a Dan Campbell. He don't have to be a Bill Belichick for y'all boys to act right. He don't. He don't. And this record shouldn't be something that should make y'all boys act right either. You should naturally have it in you to go out there and put your best product on the field at practice and during the game.
Of things that I don't see that teammates see when it comes to the adage of doing the little thing you do to do the little things.
Yeah, the extra little things that make you better or whatever.
That makes big things.
Right.
Well, I think it was that collective frustration. And it was also, I think there was a lot of targets on our back, and guys got to feel it, and that's a healthy experience in the National Football League because you don't play good football without being able to excel in those situations. A confluence of stuff to me makes me excited about 2025 because our unique I don't have to sell to the players where we need to make gains.
Right.
I don't have to sell to them.
Yeah, right.
They are coming to me in that way. And so I think that gives us a chance to.
Some coaches, they gotta sell that to the players. They have to, but some coaches have the power to. Mike McDaniel, he doesn't have the power to sell that to the players. They're gonna have to do that self-realization to the point where I know this is what I gotta do. The coach doesn't have to yell at your face to let you know in regards to where you fucking up at. You should already know. And if you keep on doing it, you're costing the team. You're costing us. You're costing us wins, playoff wins, yourself money, because it's based off of what the coaches see. Once they see what you're doing outside of the football field and on the football field, it's going to be up to them if they want to keep you on the team or not. So, hey, do not worry about the fans. Don't worry about nothing. Worry about your own worry about being the best player that you can be for the football team, and everything else going to fall into place. Everything else going to fall into place.
Do our non-negotiable formula for successful football, and that is complete commitment across the board from the off-season program on. And then you'll get the results you want. Anything short of that will leave you vulnerable to the same feeling we have now.
Let me ask you one X's and O's question, if you don't mind. You're okay with that?
No, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, I'm fine
Just
with it.
because
I'll allow it.
Well, I didn't want to. If you wanted to keep going, you're cutting edge, right? Is there a trend in football right now that you're looking at that you're saying like maybe I'm not noticing or something?
What's really cool?
Yeah.
Is so you're in the process of my background as well as anyone.
Yep.
And so you're on a team that motions the most. You're on a team that does pistol the most. Collectively, the whole league is running more motions.
Right.
It's a closer. It's closer to what we're doing. So what's unique about this offseason is every year that I've been a head coach here, I've had to extrapolate how are people going to defend us.
Yeah.
And now there was enough commonality and consistency through all the different schemes that this is the first off season that you can kind of attack the tape.
This is how they defend the speed motion or whatever. Right.
Well,
right.
And just having there's more uniformity with how people are defending things, how they're zoning stuff off, how they're getting out of stuff.
Yep.
Defenses are checking based upon formations to. Yep. So these things. What was unique about this year?
But coach, we've been doing the motion. Well, it's been like 3 years already. You should have known since last year what team's going to do against you. And on top of that, a lot more teams are doing it. So you should see the film whenever another team does it to see how a team defends them. But a team is going to defend you based off your personnel as well. If they know your quarterback can't run, they're going to play it differently. compared to if we got Tua back there and Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, is going to be completely different defenses, kinda, but for the most part, it will be different because Tua, he can't move outside the pocket like that. We try, but he ends up getting hurt. So um, that's something you should have been known in regards to how a team will defend us. That's something you should have known. But hey, like he said, he took this offseason to read that out. So ain't no excuses this year. Any motion that you do, it should work. It should work, but make sure you get the right players that's going to work in that type of scheme to the point where the motion will have a lot of success. If you keep the same players that we have, if you motion the wrong players, that I think that was a thing last year, motioning the wrong players. It's kind of to the point where you want to confuse the defense if you're motioning Durham Smythe. If you're motioning somebody that we know is not going to get the ball most likely, that's going to leave the defense wondering like what could happen. But that, to me, that's not really something a defense would worry about. They'll put their worst player on that person who's motioning, as to compare to if we got so much weapons on the field, if you're motioning Tyreek Hill, Jonnu Smith, Malik Washington, Jalen Waddle, Devon A-Chain, we have those guys, but don't waste your motions with the players that are not the best. You don't have to target a person who's motioning most of the time, but making sure one of your best players are motioning is going to occupy one of their best players because they're going to make sure that good player's on that other good player. That could cause a mismatch, but at the same time, if we have weapons all throughout the offense, we'll be in a better spot to motion anybody at any time, any place, and the defense going to have to respect us no matter where the motion is going to. They're going to have to respect us. We got to outmatch the defense. There's a lot of defenses that we did not outmatch. We're too top heavy. We're not evened out. But hey, we got this offseason to even out this team, man. We have wide receiver depth. We have O-line depth. We have running back depth, quarterback depth, tight end depth. Let's make it happen.
Here, you had, like the year before, you didn't totally know what you were going to see. I think we have a better vision of what that is.
That's cool. It's a good answer.
Last one for you. Well-documented criticisms of the team from outside and inside.
Mm-hmm.
Soft, cold weather. Are the guys who are going to change the narrative on the team, or are they guys you got to bring in from off the team?
I think there's a
Good
balance.
question.
And I think narratives are great to me because they're always result-based, and they're a lot of times pretty clear. And I think some of the frustration that we felt at the end of the season was because I think there was a portion of our locker room that captured what it takes week in, week out to go win football games, particularly in elimination football. And so I think it was harder on some of the guys in the locker room when they saw examples of individuals not adhering to that.
Yeah, right.
So to me, part of the solution is in-house, and absolutely part of the solution is the individuals the human beings that we're bringing, their tonality, their temperament, how they play, which is
So that just means that Mike McDaniel will bring the right people who's going to create that narrative that we are not a soft team, that we're actually a hard team. We're going to punch you in the mouth if you go up against us. So there's a few players that I like that we should bring in. Maybe I'll talk about it in another video, but it seems like Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel, they're on the same track, on the same page. This team needs different. Do not be so confident in your coaches to the point where you don't get talent on the team. You got to get talent on the team, man. When Jalen Hurts, he ain't win the Super Bowl by himself. He had a lot of talent around him. Howie Roseman, he ain't care that, they had A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith out there. He ain't care. He still went and addressed the O-line. Got Mekhi Becton. He looked like one of the best guards in the whole league. Got Zach Bond. Looked like one of the best linebackers in the whole league. That's how you be a GM right there. That's how you be a GM, man. So every team wish they had a Howie Roseman. Every team wish that. And Chris Greer, if you don't make it happen this year, we're gonna bring that next Howie Roseman in here because he gonna see what it takes to build a team the right way. It's not gonna take him years on years on years. We got Chris Greer in his office for too many years to the point where he should know what to do and what not to do. Each year seems like it's something different in regards to a mistake that he's making in regards to building this team the right way. Each year. And we tired of it, man. We tired.
2 reasons I'm in Indy this week. 1 is to evaluate people and learn these people because it's paramount. And 2 is to hang out with you guys.
Yeah. You're funny.
We'll hang out with you
I got
anytime.
50% of it done.
All right.
All
You're
right.
good. And it's over. Thank you so much. Congratulations on all the success.
All right.
We look forward
I
to
wonder who he's meeting with. I really want to know.
talking to you
We'll
again
see you
down the road.
later because we're going to hang out more.
That's
thought.
right.
All
And,
Come back anytime. We'll turn the lights
Drinks
off. We
on
won't
you,
turn the
though.
cameras
All
off.
I know is Raheem Morris has a tough follow. Wherever he is.
We'll be back with more from Indy. Mike McDaniel.
Him and Raheem Morris, they have a good relationship. So they probably chopping it up. Hopefully they talking about Kyle Pitts. Pairing up Kyle Pitts with Jonnu Smith. Crazy. And Kyle Pitts, he could play a little receiver as well. Back in the old day at Florida, he played a little bit of receiver for us, a little bit of slot, tied in, hand in the dirt. He did everything for us. So I know Kyle Pitts will be a threat. It just depends on what team he goes to. But maybe Michael Penix builds a good relationship with them and they end up keeping him. Maybe.
A vacation with Norwegian Cruise Line is so much more because there's more included.
Right here we have Mike McDaniel's press conference at the combine. Let's check this out. See what questions he answered. See what hints we could get in regards to this team, man.
So, we've been in direct communication with Tehran as recent as last week. And, one thing that Tehran understands is from the organizational perspective, we have to operate in some way, shape, or form. And, I think with Tehran reflecting his ability and all that, he's not totally ready to make that decision. As a result, I think we have to operate as though he won't play. Just because you have to prepare for things that you can't control. But I think he's going to take his time with his family and loved ones and make that decision because it is not an easy one. But we will be operating as though, we are moving on in that way simply for the execution of free agency and the draft.
Okay, so chat. Basically, Teron Armstead, he took a pay cut so the team could build this team up the right way with the right salary cap. So hopefully the team makes the right choices in regards to who they add on with that Teron Armstead money. So I think Teron Armstead, he's sitting back chilling. He's going to wait to see what this team does in free agency during the draft. And if he thinks that this team is good enough to compete, he will stay another year. And I think next year will be his last year for sure. But if he thinks whatever this team did during free agency and the draft is not good enough, I think he'll just retire. He's not going to waste his time, man. He's not going to waste his time. He want to see a Super Bowl caliber team. With this type of move, I feel like this just means that Teron Armstead noticed that the O-line wasn't good enough as well. He agrees. He gave up some of his money so the team could build up, and the team already knows what we got to do in regards to getting this team better, which is address the O-line. So Teron Armstead said, yeah, Rob Jones, he not good enough. Aaron Brewer, we cool. Liam Eichenberg, not good enough. Austin Jackson, not good enough. Always getting hurt. So hopefully we could make a 360 change. Make sure this O-line is a top 10 O-line. Top 10, a minimum.
Well, I prioritize people that are adept at passing. So that's my first young, old, I think all things are on the table. There's some guys that were pretty interested in free agency, and
Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields. We gonna see who we pick up, man. I feel like we're gonna get somebody in free agency and the draft.
there's guys in the draft as well. So I think both avenues afford us an opportunity to improve the room the at that position, which I think was pretty obvious, is on everybody's tip of the tongue, that needs to be a focus of ours, and it is. Yeah, those are weird situations in that, I have a close relationship with Anthony Weaver. And I obviously think highly of him, by hiring him, and our working relationship is awesome. But, I know he is going to be a tremendous head coach someday. And, it's not that exciting. It is a relief just knowing that I think there's a tremendous amount out there for us to have finally have some continuity with scheme and leader. But you're also in the car with the guys that you have relationships with, and Anthony Weaver's deserving of it. And it's not. It just so happens it won't be this year, but. I'll be sure to not take for granted my working relationship with him.
Hey, Mike McDaniel, Anthony Weaver job relies on you this year. It relies on you. If you get to keep this job, Anthony Weaver most likely will be here another year after next year. But if you don't keep this job, Anthony Weaver, he'll be out as well. Unless this team interviews Anthony Weaver to be the head coach. That could be a situation right there. But if this team does extremely well, Mike McDaniel, he's going to stay as the head coach. And Anthony Weaver most likely will get a head coaching opportunity. But I don't know. There's a lot of good candidates that will be available next year, to the point where I don't think Anthony Weaver will get a head coaching job next year. Maybe I'm wrong. I really don't want to see him leave. I don't. Because I hate moving on from person to person to person. I just want us to stay solid with one person on defense. One person. But I would understand if Anthony Weaver decides to leave the team. I would understand.
This coming year, because my expectation is that whole process will be, I have to be ready for it to be short-lived,
I think you're talking about Chop Robinson.
Well, honestly, that's my favorite part of the combine, is because there's it's a puzzle that you're trying to put together. How can you have a draft class impact your football team? Where are your needs? Where are the strengths of the draft? And then the individuals. And you can't. A lot of times people get caught up in, especially I think we're all victims of it. You get into the world of fantasy football and you start treating people like they're console creative players, and these are human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's at the foundation of what makes people be able to really succeed on the NFL level, because the parity is so real. So
yeah, a player could be real good, but if they're not going to behave off the field, what's the point of keeping the player? They're probably going to get suspended, probably going to get in trouble off the field. We in Miami as well, we got to be careful in regards to who we bring to Miami. You do not want to bring the wrong person to Miami, man. They might crash out. Man. One example, Kadarius Toney. Let's say we bring him to Miami. What do you think is going to happen, bro? Something bad is going to happen. Man. I don't know if y'all seen the recent things that's been happening with Kadarius. Let me show y'all. Kadarius Toney. Yeah, Kadarius Toney, he going through it right now, man. He's definitely going through it. And let me check that out real quick. Yeah, I don't see it. Wait, I know what to search up. I got y'all. I got y'all. Like, come on, man. Kadarius, fam. I do not remember you being like this, bro. I do not remember this. And y'all see why he got arrested. He strangled a woman, man. You should never put your hands on a woman. Never. Never. You got to put on for Florida, dog. Got to put on for Florida, dog. You know, this really disappointed me in regards to Kadarius, bro. You know, he definitely would have been a scheme fit in regards to yards after the catch. You know, definitely a hard guy to take down on the field. Very talented, but you know, his career went down the drain to waste. You know, he was in a good situation. This was the guy that they thought could replace Tyreek Hill. You know, the Chiefs, I think they traded for him. Um, and they thought that he could be the one, but he ended up crashing out in Kansas City. You know, when you're in Kansas, the only thing that you really got to worry about is football. You know, it's a big football town because all the championships that they won. But the only thing you really got to worry about is football. But he couldn't even do that, bro. Couldn't even do that, man. And imagine if he was in Miami, bro. He'd be way worse than this, bro. He probably would have had a black eye, and a little bit darker because of sun. You know, he would have crashed out in Miami for sure. For sure.
Meeting him, understanding that we were dealing with a wise beyond his years type of young man, a guy that had just scratched the surface but was hungry to establish his kind of piece of the puzzle within the whole league of his game, and being able to really refine technique and fundamentals to be a really good player, not for the short-term results. Learned a lot about Chop Robinson that I think made it very easy in our conversations with Chris and I to make that selection. We're very happy we did it.
I still wish we would have went O-line, but I love Chop Robinson. Good addition. Hopefully putting on some size so he could be good in run defense, not just pass defense.
Yeah, I'm kind of. It's tough because I have a hard time making things illegal because of success. However, I think my mind would, it's a different thing if it's a safety issue. For me, in the game of football, when your job is to take 11 people, possess the ball, and move it down the field to try to get in the end zone to score points, I think it's because it's successful. I have a hard time being at the teeth of the argument to move on from it. That's just my opinion. I do understand both sides.
How do you value?
There can be a ton of reasons for not
Upside versus positional.
Well, I think you value upside because you want growth, but it's a happy balance of, like, we don't have a farm system. Like, you are playing live bullets if you are on the 53, and generally when you're drafting someone, you don't have the luxury of redshirting them in the National Football League. So there has to be, for me, I'm looking at the college game and extrapolating it to the professional game. And so I'm taking what's happening in college football with the players on any given play and extrapolating that to what that would look like on the NFL level. If there's a ceiling for, that's good enough, and that's extremely attractive, and that's probably what you want the most, is you want the NFL ability with room to grow into greatness.
Okay. I could respect that. So basically he's looking for you to do NFL stuff on the college level. NFL stuff. So NFL stuff is, if you're a receiver, getting 2 feet in before going out of bounds, um, being able to get consistent pressure as a D end. That just means that the competition is not good enough for you. You got to go to the NFL to meet the type of competition that you need. And you watch the film on Chop Robertson, he was getting off the ball quicker than anybody could get off the ball on the O line. It seemed like no O lineman could really, really block him like that. No O lineman. Another example, probably an O lineman showing you like he could block one of the best D linemen in the whole nation with no problem. Putting up great stats at whatever position that you are in. That's another indication that you could probably work in the NFL. So, Mike McDaniel, he one of the ones in regards to seeing that, and that's a good indication to see if you got a good player or not. That's a good indication.
He had surgery on his wrist. It was a ligament issue. It wasn't a broken wrist, and he's scheduled to be running, very soon, in which he'll be rely upon that in his training until he can catch the football, which will be more around summertime going into training camp.
Hey, I love Tyreek. But they might use that as an excuse as to him if he drops the ball a lot next year. They might use that as an excuse. I'm not too sure. Maybe Tyreek come out and ball out, get 1,500. That's my prediction, like 1,300 for Tyreek Hill. That's my prediction. Maybe 90 catches, 85. At least 7 touchdowns. That's my prediction.
I could see why one could come to that conclusion. However, it wasn't at all. In coaching, especially, I have a high regard for Wes Welker. And, generally in my position, I have to do the hard thing, which is, in this case, is look past the relationship. And, for me, I take the job and the responsibility of being a head coach super serious.
So what you trying to say, Wes Welker, he wasn't that serious doing his job? That's what you're trying to say? It just seems kind of funny that they let go of Wes Welker. It seems funny. I don't know if he got a job somewhere else. Let me try to search that up real quick. Wes Welker. Wes Welker. Let me see. Wells Carter Welker is an American professional football coach and former wide receiver who recently served as the wide receiver coach for the Miami Dolphins. I'm trying to see if he got a job somewhere else. Look, other people saying that Joe Rose says he has been told Tyreek Hill got Wes Welker fired. I wonder what happened, bro. I think it's deeper than what everybody making it seem like. It's way deeper. But Mike McDaniel, he's not gonna say anything on the podium. He's gonna keep everything exclusive, everything in house, and we're gonna have to dig deep to try to figure out what probably could have happened. Probably gonna have to dig deeper. We on Wes Welker's Twitter. You see, based off this last tweet, it seemed like them boys had a good relationship, man. Definitely seemed like it. We're gonna miss you, Wes Welker, but hopefully this new wide receiver coach that we got could make everything right, make us better. Hopefully he could get Tyreek Hill to that 2K. If this wide receiver coach could get Tyreek Hill to that 2K, I'm gonna have that much more respect for him. That much more respect, bro. To be real.
and I don't play with people's livelihoods. So, for me, when it's very important that I outline specifically what I'm looking for on the front end with a coach, and in certain situations, those things can't be delivered upon. So, who else is going to do the hard but right thing? That's my job. But it was motivated in things that were much beyond, what happened with Tyreek at the end of the season.
Hey, but that's good. That's a good sign of maturity by Mike McDaniel. Good sign of maturity. He's willing to cut off his friend, fire him for the sake of the team. So I can respect that. I'm still kind of confused as to why we let him go, but I can respect Mike McDaniel's choice to let go of his good friend to make this team better. Hopefully it was the right choice, though.
Well, because I can't replace that face-to-face energy and human element that is so important. Like in this game, it's the one time that however, it is for us a little inefficient in terms of time. There's some downtime in the middle of the day, but for me, I'm hard pressed with how important the decisions are for the fabric of your team when it comes to the NFL draft. Everybody can do it a different way. I need to see people in person for me to kind of complete the whole picture of what I'm seeing on film.
When you became a coach at such a young age,
Give me 30 seconds so I can show you the trading strategies that allowed me to become a full-time trader and quit my job 2 years ago while also designing a lifestyle I love with less.
It's a cool question because there was some tangible benefits I learned live that I didn't like forecast this, but being it kind of fit in the same bucket as my physical disposition. Like, I'm young, I was at an Ivy League school. You better have information that players can easily digest, that they know immediately, that it helps them do their job. You have to become an asset to players with your information, and you can't be guessing. It can't be guesswork. So the amount of preparation that I felt that I had to have to feel comfortable instructing Andre Johnson, or my first training camp, I was in Denver, and it was one of Jerry Rice's last training camps. For me to have information that's worthwhile for those guys, it better be on point. So I think it was a very fortuitous in many ways, but one of which was my ability to do my job, because I knew I had to prove myself each and every day, which is kind of the mantra that I kind of take still to this day.
Especially this year, since you're on the chopping block right now. Definitely on the hot seat.
What's that? Evaluating all of the compounding variables. That's the biggest thing. Is results are something that need to be focused on. However, compounding variables. This is not a science experiment that you can't. If you just take the results, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to missing out on people that can be very adept at their job. So I think you have to assess all the variables, one of which is a schematic situation that they're in, what they're asked to do, the eligibles that they're around, the situations that they're put in, all of these things. The quarterback position has a lot of uncontrollables that you're at the mercy of. So you try to do your best to put yourself in the player's situation and evaluate from that standpoint. And often that can lead to, all right, we need to give this guy another chance. He might have a better shot at the results that everybody wants in this situation, in this scheme, et cetera, et cetera. I have a very strong relationship with Parks. He did an outstanding job for us and was deserving of a little more responsibility. I think it's a great place for him to go, knowing his relationship with Coach Sirianni. And he did a great job with us in assisting Coach Bevel in the quarterback's room, and I expect him to continue to progress in his career.
Coach Parks. Coach Parks. I don't know who that is. I gotta search him up to see. Gotta search him up.
Yeah, no. I'm very emphatic about that resource tool being beneficial to non-starters in the regular season. Typically, their ratio of reps, the backup quarterback and the third quarterback, goes down in the regular season. And I've witnessed firsthand. There was had a experience, I think, from 2018 to 19, where had a quarterback, Nick Mullins, that didn't get any burn really on the field, showed up at training camp better the next year, and had done so through stealing reps with VR. So to answer your question, I think it's very powerful to be a tool to gain reps where otherwise they're lost based upon the natural constraints of a practice.
I'm gonna show y'all that coach that he was talking about, Coach Parks. On Wednesday, the Eagles promoted Kevin Patullo Parks Frazier, a 33-year-old assistant coach who spent 2024 season with the Dolphins, has joined the Eagles as their next passing game coordinator. Interesting. Interesting. Nobody really talked about him when he was in Miami. Nobody really did, but we're gonna see what he does over there with the Eagles. We're gonna see. He got there a little bit too late, bud. A little bit too late. So I'm pretty sure he's not gonna get a ring. I'm pretty sure about that.
Absolutely. The extra and reps is what it allows you to do, and you're at the mercy of 21 other players generally to get a rep. VR, you can go solo, only child style. Have no friends, get reps. So it works out for everybody.
After waiving Noreen and Jeff set to hit free agency, how would you evaluate the current state of the Dolphins?
I'm fired up of the incomplete room. There's the nature of the National Football League. You guys would have to fact check, but I feel like there's 40 to 60% roster turnover on every team every year. And I think that's something that's the nature of our business. Right now, I feel extremely strong about who's in the room, knowing that it will grow by 2 to 3 people. But I think part of our vision moving forward is we have high expectations for that tandem of Devon and Jalen, and think that they give us an opportunity to really be effective handing the ball off and doing stuff in the pass game. So I'm excited to see how the room fills out, knowing that we only have 2 under contract, but I'm very excited about those 2 and motivated to make that more than 2.
Hey, so he's telling you right now he gonna add somebody else. I don't know if it's going to be via free agency or the draft. Me personally, I would look towards the draft so we don't have to invest too much money into the running back position. But we would have a lot of value there with 3 good running backs. And on top of that, you invested in the O-line, which would make your value of your running back show out even more. So there's a lot of running backs I like in this draft, and I don't think we should sign one. I don't think so. You could look at some people, but nobody really pops out to me in free agency. Nobody really does. Nick Chubb, he out there, but the injuries scare me with Nick Chubb. They really do scare me. So I don't know how long he gonna be sustainable in the league. Christian McCaffrey, is he gonna come back to full health next year? Is he? It's starting to seem like he got arthritis or something in his knee, and that's what happened to Todd Gurley. He started to slow down, and he didn't end up being that running back that we once thought he was going to be when he was with the Rams. As soon as they signed him to that contract, he declined. He declined. So we're gonna see what we do in the running back room. We're gonna see. But a RP Raheem Mostert, if you're gonna let go of Raheem Mostert, I know Jeff Wilson, he gone for sure. He gone for sure. So it seems like this is like the type of year that you gotta let go of all your homeboys, everybody that you used to. You gotta reinvent yourself because you've seen the last few years it hasn't worked out completely for us. We haven't gotten to where we really wanted to be. We haven't. So at that point, you gotta reevaluate yourself and your circle and see who should stay in the circle and who should go. And that's how you elevate in life. So Mike McDaniel, he's making some moves that I could respect, but I still need to see the final product, the finished product. I still gotta see it to believe it.
It seems to be a pretty deep running back class. Is that the position that you guys are looking?
See how your marketing campaigns really perform. Choose a smarter email and marketing automation platform that suggests new.
Yeah. So Chris shares this same foundational anxiety as I do, which is like a lot of times the player that you ultimately in hindsight should draft may not be the exact position need. So and to keep yourself from missing out on the opportunity to draft particular players that you think can help your team, you kind of go into every draft. It's non-negotiably. I have to focus on the entire draft class and see where its strengths are. And I think that between E and Chris Greer and Frank Smith and our whole personnel department, I think we have I feel very confident in our ability to match skill set with scheme. So we'll look at that position and, quite honestly, look at every position because I don't want to be in a situation ever, and Chris is the exact same way, where you had an opportunity to pick somebody that is elite and you didn't put any time into it. So we'll.
Love that right there, man. Love that right there. That's the best thing he said so far. Best thing, man. They probably noticed last year they skipped on a lot of good players, a lot of good ones. They could have got Joe Milton, but they doubled down on receiver. Like, what kind of dumb shit is that, bro? To be real, So hopefully y'all learning from y'all mistakes, and y'all make the right choice throughout the whole draft, not just the beginning. Throughout the whole draft, make the right choice. Don't make a stupid decision. Them drafting Malik Washington, then getting Taj Washington make no sense to me. None. There's better UDFA players than Patrick McMorris right now. I think the Packers, Evan Williams, UDFA safety that they got, graded as a top 15 safety in the whole league. So hopefully them boys are not being lazy in the scouting room, bro. You should be watching football every day. Every team, every college team, nothing's off limits. I'll be watching some D3 teams, in regards to if they have any talent. I'll be watching, because you got to go above your limits to find talent to put on this team. Above and beyond, man.
Put in healthy time just like every other position. But I'm excited for that room, even though it's incomplete. Yeah, I think Javon has earned the right to go out and test his market, and that's something that I don't look as a negative, because what I don't want is players being here and wishing they were somewhere else. So
wow. That's crazy. Javon, that's how you feel? That's how you feel? Okay, Javon. Okay. But I know Javon, he that type of player that will go to another team and ball out, just like Minka did, just like Brandon Jones, just like Robert Hunt. I'm expecting the same thing from Javon. There's two teams that I'm seeing Javon on. Um, Chargers. What other team I could see him on? I forgot the team. Chargers is one of them. Chargers, they got the Rams. The Rams maybe. That might be another team that might take Javon Holland. There's a lot of teams that he will probably like going to on the West Coast that would probably take him. A lot of teams. I don't think any team in Texas, no team in Louisiana. I don't think the Falcons, they got Jesse Bates. I think they're gonna keep Justin Simmons. Panthers, maybe. There's some options out there, man. There's some options for Javon Holland. Maybe the Chiefs. Who knows, man? He probably gonna go to a contender and ball out, man. And we're gonna regret letting him go. But I feel like safety is a replaceable position. Right after we got rid of Minkah Fitzpatrick, we found Javon Holland, and look what happened. But I don't want us to keep on doing that every year, because we mishandled the player. I feel like if we had put Javon Holland in a better situation, not a different defensive coordinator year after year after year, he would have been a better player to the point as to where, he would have been still on this team. We would have been able to give him the money that he deserves, but we put ourselves in such a deep hole to the point where the money that he deserves, we're unable to give it to him. And now we're trying to assume that he's not that valuable when he really is. I hate the fact that we got to that point, but hey, so be it, bro. So be it. If you could get another Javon Holland on a rookie deal, hey, I'll take that.
Testing the market. This has been a guy that has been a contributor from his rookie year on. That a lot of teams have had the ability to watch him, and we feel good about his ability to test his market, and if business works out appropriately, his ability to be back here. So that process will start. I know he's looking forward to it, and he's earned that.
Stop looking for the perfect ring. Design your own with grown.
So one thing that I think is paramount in an organization's not fleeting but maintain success over time, I think there's a competitive advantage that we try to lean into on player development. And much of the girth of the staff is because we have position assistants that their job is to focus like they were the primary position coach on the back half of the room. Things after practice, we have a structured after practice developmental program that we do with guys, and then something on Monday from the past game plan. So the long and short of it is it is an issue if you have too many cooks in the kitchen. I think we have a good format where guys get the individual attention that I think is deserved of an NFL player who's trying to best contribute to a team, just like we all want them to. It's been more of an evolution. Like I recognize, one thing you're forecasting with the idea of, overall, things happen in NFL seasons. You have a season that you're pumped about. You have a down season, but overall, if you're in a successful program, you have to have basically a situation where guys can grow within the program themselves and be ready to be a lead guy when that opportunity presents itself. And that's been kind of something that I didn't necessarily come in looking at, but solving the problems year after year, it's become a priority. So to me, I think I'm excited because I think we have a tangible opportunity to improve, and that starts in free agency with a couple of guys that we have targeted that you think that you can get a deal done with them.
So there's some old linemen in free agency that the coach thinks that we could get a deal done with. Let me check out the free agent old linemen. Old linemen free agents 2025. Right here we have the top 10. Okay, Tevin Jenkins. This could be possible. I could see this, but he gets hurt a lot. Kevin Zeitler, a little bit on the older side, so I don't know. Will Fries, I like his last name, man. Like his last name. Could be a possible target. Cam Robinson could be a possible target. Dan Moore. There's a guy from the 49ers. Is he on this list? No, he's not. Trey Smith. Everybody gonna try to get Trey Smith. Everybody. So I don't know if you're gonna have enough money for Trey Smith. I don't know. Maybe Ronnie Stanley. Maybe Drew Dahlman. A lot of people gonna try to get him. Mekhi Becton. I think the Eagles try to keep him. Dan Moore. Nothing too crazy to go over. So there's some decent options that we could target. Some decent ones. But I feel like the Dolphins won't go top heavy in regards to free agency. They're gonna try to go in like the mid tiers, so they could spread the money around to get more offensive linemen than just one good offensive lineman. Because if you get hurt, what is your backup plan? So you want to not put too much money into one position. You want to put enough into one position to the point where you're upgrading and you're making the team better, but not putting too much money into a position. Okay, you're gonna upgrade, but you don't want to just upgrade and not have no money left to do another upgrade for the team. If you get what I'm trying to say. So I don't know about Trey Smith, but the guys around 7 and 10, I think there are possible options. There's some guys who are not even on this list that I think the Dolphins will target.
And that continues into the draft. I think this is it's a very good time to have some need, and we have it's time for us to invest in that position. Excited to, and that can come. I would expect it to surface itself in both free agency and the draft. Well, I'm only one day deep, right? And we have, I'm meeting
Mason Taylor. I think that's the son of Jason Taylor, the Miami Dolphin legend. So they're asking coach if he met up with him already.
Hundreds of players here throughout the week, and so I will end up. I think I can't remember what day. Every day is the same day at the combine. So when I do get to talk to him, I'll be excited about it. He has a reputation from his play style on the field that I'm excited to dive into more, as well as to get to know the human being, which is why we're here.
We're gonna see, but I really want our Orende Gadsden, from Syracuse, that tight end. That's what I really want. If you want to put another tight end room in our room, If you want to put another tight end in our room, that's the guy right there. That is the guy. Y'all go search him up, Orende Gatson.
Why is it important for you to be here in person at the combine? Some coaches don't come. Why is it important for you to be here?
Well, because I can't replace that face-to-face energy and human element that is so important. Like in this game, it's the one time that however.
That's a funny question to ask a coach. Why does he come to the combine? That's funny. There's actual NFL coaches, head coaches that don't go to the combine. I don't think you take your team serious if you don't come to the combine. I don't think so.
It is for us a little inefficient in terms of time. There's some downtime in the middle of the day, but for me, I'm hard pressed with how important the decisions are for the fabric of your team when it comes to the NFL draft. Everybody can do it a different way. I need to see people in person for me to kind of complete the whole picture of what I'm seeing on film.
Hey man, y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about everything that Mike McDaniel said during his press conferences, during the combine. Let me know what you think he has in mind in regards to what he wants to do with the team. Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Please like, comment, subscribe for more content. You already know what it is. DGE, Dolphin Gang Entertainment. It's your boy DG, and I'm going.